Hey, it's Lydia, and I am back today to share with you some tips for insurance. I have shared a few videos in the past about our house fire and some tips that I have learned after the house fire to deal with insurance. And it's something that I've become pretty passionate about because we had some people that helped us shortly after house fire. And I would like to help you as well. So today, what we're going to talk about is how to form your inventory list after you've had a house fire. Two scenarios. One is if your house is still standing and you need to do an inventory, or two, if it is not standing and you need to create an inventory from absolutely nothing. So we kind of had a mix of both situations, and I'll share how we handled both of them. But I would like to also share with you another thing, and that is I have created a Facebook group. Right now it's just my husband and I in there, but I'm hoping to grow that. Not huge, it's here for you. I want to be able to help people who have struggled with insurance or just want to learn how to deal with their insurance after a fire. I say fire because that's what I've learned from. But if it's a hurricane, a tornado, a flood, whatever, if you have an insurance claim on your house that you need help with, I would love to be able to either help you or that maybe somebody else in the group could help you as well. So I will share a link for that in the description, and we'd love to have you join us over there to either gain insight or give other people insight. So inventory. So you've had a house fire, you've had something happen to your house, and you need to create an inventory. We had an adjuster come in through our house, and she did an inventory of our house. Now, let me tell you, she was in and out of our house in, we'll give her 2 hours. I really think that's probably more than she was in there. And just think about sitting down now and inventorying your house. Could you do it in 2 hours? I couldn't. But that's how long she took. So obviously she missed some things. She got some things wrong. It happens. It's her job. She did her best. But there were some tips that we learned along the way to help make sure that our inventory list was proper and that we were compensated appropriately. So I want to first talk about if your house is still standing. So our insurance company actually paid us to go in and to remove the contents of our house. They said we needed to throw them away, but that they would pay us to do it. So there were some perks of that because we made money to get rid of our stuff. Some downfalls where they didn't necessarily want to take our word for what was in there then. So the one thing is, if you still have things in your house, pictures, pictures, pictures. They are your best friend. We actually had some friends come over and help us pull things out of our house, and we took a picture of every single item that was in our house. Some tips looking back that maybe I would have done a little bit differently. I probably would have taken some pictures, more pictures inside of the house, because everything was taken outside, which I wouldn't have wanted to be in the house too long because of all the smells and stuff, but maybe put a mask on and stay inside the house, or like take a picture of a few cabinets and then pull them out. And I would also try to go room by room so that you kind of knew where the things were. But take a picture of every single item. It took us a while. It was laborious. It was ridiculous. But you know what? It made us a lot of money in the end. So that's what I would highly suggest. Take it out, take a picture. Take it out, take a picture. And then we went back through our inventory list, and like, say she said, oh, you had a winter coat for $20. We could say we had a Carhartt coat that was worth $100, and we could fight her on it and send her a link and say, you know, this is an appropriate coat for what we had. Can you change this out and adjust it appropriately? Mm-hmm. She also would take receipts for things that we had bought. Hello, Amazon. If you shop on Amazon, you can send, okay, this is what our situation, I'm just throwing this out there for you. We could send them a link of what we had bought and then be appropriately compensated for an appropriate item. So that was something else we could do. So if you are still standing, don't necessarily trust their inventory list. Take your stuff out and take pictures. And then also, one tip of advice that was given to us was, you know, you have a junk drawer in your house. We all have them. You know, a drawer that maybe has got pens in and pencils and highlighters and rubber bands and paper clips. Okay, so they're annoying. They're not worth a lot. But what happens when you have to go to the store and you have to buy a box of paper clips and a box of rubber bands? Make sure you inventory all that stuff. That is stuff that you owned and you need compensated for. So don't don't generalize things and just say, oh, well, I only had a box of envelopes. Write down what you had. The man who sat down with us for a property, he said, if you're talking about the food in your kitchen, you have half a bottle of ketchup. You have to go out and you have to buy a full bottle of ketchup. So think about that full bottle and go for that full bottle and the price of that, because that's what you're going to have to rebuy. And it was ketchup that he used. It still sticks with me because I'm like, oh, an insurance person's telling me this. Yes, you have to go out and buy that full bottle. So those are my general tips. If your house is still standing, it's a little easier to inventory because you have everything there. But pictures are your best friend. Without that, it's your word against theirs. And I will share another video here soon about our Department of Insurance claim and how pictures, they made us $5,000 because it was my word against their word, and they didn't want to trust me until I pulled out pictures. So that'll be a story for another day, another video, hopefully soon. But how do you inventory if your house is not still standing? Our house fire started in our garage, and then our garage was completely gone. There was nothing left of it. I mean, it was still kind of, the shell, but the contents were gone. And then we had a half bath off of that, and that was pretty, but it was just a half bath with no storage, so that wasn't too hard. And then a little bit of our kitchen was like, I don't want to touch this stuff, maybe it's not safe. But then the rest of our house was still standing. So the garage, it kind of fell more into my husband's territory, but I'm going to kind of walk you through how we tackled that inventory. Start at like a corner or a shelf of the room, in our case the garage. So start at the corner and work yourself around the room. Write down everything that you can think of that was on the shelf and work your way. Maybe one shelf at a time, take a break. One shelf at a time, take a break. And then once you have that list down, so ours was the garage. So maybe go, if you're an auto mechanic guy, maybe go to like an auto store and see what kind of things are there that you might have missed. Because then you'd be like, oh, I had that. Or, oh, I had that. And check them out at the store and see what you might have missed. If I were to do my kitchen, I would write down everything and then maybe go to Bed Bath & Beyond and be like, oh, I had this. I didn't use it very often, but I had it, and I should write that down on my list. So go to those stores, go to the website, pull up a website for Walmart or pull up a website for a car store or kitchen store and see, what are some things that I might have missed that I didn't use. Maybe have somebody else look over the list. Get your spouse involved. They are going to remember things that you didn't remember. Get your kids involved. Get somebody that came over to your house fairly often and say, what do you think maybe I've missed that's on this list? And then submit that to your insurance if that's how they're going to let you do it. Maybe go back to your pictures. See if you have pictures of, especially if it's inside of your house, if you have pictures of your house that might just jog your memory a little bit of, oh yeah, I forgot I had that picture on the wall. We forget about things that are in our house because we see them every day. So those are my tips for rooms that maybe aren't there. Work yourself around the room, cupboard by cupboard, shelf by shelf, wall by wall, and then go to a store of like items and see what might be there that you have forgotten about. So I'm curious if you all have any tips of in doing the inventory of your house. Was there anything that helped you to get the inventory done? Because it's overwhelming. I've heard the amount of things that you have in somebody's house, and I know how many things we've accumulated in the last 5 years. It's overwhelming to think one thing, the list that they came back with for us of what we owned was ridiculous. And yeah, some people would be way worse. So let me know if you have any tips for people that are working on their inventory, or if you have any questions of, how do I deal with doing this in my inventory? I'd love to hear them. You can leave them in the comments below and I'll try to get back to you, or you can join that Facebook group and ask them there so that they can help somebody else in the future as well. And I will do my best to answer any question that comes into that group, or you can drop me an email or whatever and I will try to help you out. So I hope this is beneficial to you, and if you have any other insurance questions, please leave them below and I will do my best to get back to you and help you as I can. So I hope that you all have a great day and keep fighting on. I know it's a long battle, but you've got this and you can get to the end. Talk to you later. Bye.